Hello, good morning. This morning, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope anybody who is in the path of the storm, everybody who is in the path of the storm is safe. And it says that it's supposed to be very minor as far as a hurricane goes, so that's good. Um, yeah, it seems to want to come right to my back door, but I mean my front door. But I'm not worried about it. It seems to be um, it seems to be calming down. Okay, what we're doing today, what I'm doing today, what I'm trying to do today is, and I'm going to show you what I'm learning. I was talking with a friend yesterday, and she showed me another way of making flowers. And so I've been just kind of playing with different fabrics and kind of making these flowers in different ways, different than I've done before. Maybe you've done them this before, I don't know, but this is new to me. So, but do you see how these are coming out? Look, how pretty are they? They're just like, look at those two together. And what I want to figure is to, I want to figure how I can actually, oh my gosh, layer them in ways to where they're going to make a beautiful flower. I was just put that there because I thought, gosh, how pretty that would be if this was leaves and then that was the flower. And so, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you first one of these. First of all, I have this piece of fabric, and this is green. So I'm thinking what I want to do with this here is to okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to cut this right here. I'm going to tear this. Okay, so I have that. Tearing is so much easier than cutting. All right, so here I have this. It's about a, what is it about? It's about a 4, wow, exactly 4 inches by 11 inches. Okay, so that's going to be a good size. Now what I'm going to do with this, I want leaves. I want to see if I can do leaves. And then I want to have this part of it for leaves and this part of it to go in the center of a flower. So I want this part of it to be a small flower, small, and then this part of it to be larger. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it. Now, when you start folding, you can just fold in different. I folded, before I did it, fold it in half and then folded it in half again and then cut it. But then I only ended up with four points, and I like to have more than 4 points. I like to have 5 points. Okay, so I'm going to fold that in thirds. That's in thirds, and then this is in half, and that should make 6 somethings. I don't know. We'll see what it makes. Okay, then what I'm going to do, I wonder if I folded that in half again, if I could actually cut through with my pinking shears. Let's see. So I'm just going to cut through. It's cutting. Ooh, sometimes these shears just surprise me. So now what I have is this. And so, okay, the girl that showed me, she first glued these together right here. So you can glue the ends together first, or you can do that later. I'm going to go ahead and do it later. And so, I'm gonna stitch this. I'm using some of this here kind of floss. It's kind of a heavy thread, and doesn't matter the color really because it's not going to show. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just do a running stitch all the way across the bottom. And then once I get this running stitch all the way across the bottom, then I'm going to tie it together in a knot to hold it shut. Now when I do this one, I'm going to pull it tight. Now you don't have to when you are starting to tie it together, you don't have to pull it tight, and in some instances you don't want to pull it tight because if you're layering too much, then, and if you have them all pulled real tight, you're going to have too thick of a spot to layer the flowers. The center will get too thick. So let me just get this almost through here. Yeah, I got up early this morning and I shampooed part of the carpet. I can't do it all at one time. I have to shampoo part of it and then wait a while. I've got the dogs out on the back porch. They're in trouble because they peed on the carpet again. Okay, so now but the back porch is, they've got all their blankets back there and pillows back there. They've got it better off back there than, it's a big screened-in back porch. It's not like they're out on a stoop. Okay, so now I'm going to tie this. Now, maybe I'm going to tie this. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tie this in a knot. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and snip that thread. Okay, see? You know what? This just so happens, the wider you have your fabric, the longer you need it to be able to go all the way around. And this isn't going to go all the way around. So, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm going to use this nonetheless. It'll still work like leaves. Like if I were to put a flower and this is behind it, even though it doesn't, fit. See, it doesn't. Well, I could make a hat for a Barbie doll. It kind of looks like something. I don't know what it looks like. But anyway, that would, even though, see, like this one here, I did the same way. But this one here, I did the same way, although this one, I think the piece of fabric was longer. Yeah, and the snips were less. Okay, so see, that's how that turned out. And that's the way I did that one. Okay, see like that? Okay, that still can be used though. I'm going to be using this on something because when you put leaves on something, the leaves don't need to go all the way around like the flower does. So this is going to work on fine. But now this other part that I took off, where I cut this one, and this one is narrower this way, same length but narrower, this one's going to fit just fine. This one's going to go around. It's going to close up beautifully because it's narrower. So if you want a really wide, if you're going to make a big flower, then you need a longer piece of fabric. And so I'm going to just I'm just going to do this running stitch across here. Yeah, I try not to let the weather bother me because it's just Mother Nature, and what will be will be. And but I still have a little concern over this storm coming. which, you know, it went over Cuba or is maybe still on Cuba. I don't know. But once it goes over land, it has a tendency to lose strength in the storm, you know. And it wasn't a strong storm even to begin with. So then once it gets into the Gulf, then depending on the temperature of the Gulf and wind shear, whatever, I don't know all that technical stuff about weather, but they think it'll gain a little bit of strength, but not much. Okay, I'm going to pull this one tight, pulling it tight, and so they got it headed toward the west coast of Florida, you know. And I just so happen to be on the west coast of Florida, so things are going to get wet, but I don't think we're going to have a lot of trouble. Okay, now, see that? See, because that one, the whole fabric was narrower, so it, because the fabric was narrower, it went around. Now look at this. If you were to put this here in the center and then put this one here in behind it, that's a pretty flower. That's a real pretty flower. And then, boy, I could even I could layer the heck out of this thing and put this one here. But that's one way of doing the, and then a button. I don't have a, I can put a button. I think I would leave it just this far and then put a button. And, but then let me show you another, let's see. Oh, this is another one that I made that was a little too short. Almost looks like a butterfly, doesn't it? I could make a butterfly out of that. Okay. See, this is one that I did, and it only had 4 points. But it's not a fail. I mean, I like 5. I like an uneven number in just about anything that I do. I did that one the same way. Okay, now I want to show you this one. This here, as you see, I didn't pull this one tight in the middle. That one's not tight in the middle because now I can lay this one on top of this one, and because it's not tight in the middle, it's it leaves, I can layer on top of this and keep layering. Now see, one of the things I want to do, I have a little pretty fabric right here. This is like it almost looks like it came off a curtain, but look at the edge of this, how beautiful that edge is. So this is quite wide. Oh, I hear the trash man. Yeah, this is about 15-16 inches wide this way. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to cut it not real wide. I'm going to cut it kind of narrow. That is so pretty. It's got that edging on it, and then it's got all that embroidery on it. Now let me see, if I were to cut this in half, then it would be 9 inches. Would that be enough? Oh, I don't know. I'd love to get 2 out of this, but I don't think I will. I think I'm not going to chance it. I'm going to just go ahead and use the whole length of it and see what I end up with. But look how pretty that edge is. So that is going to make a beautiful flower. So I'm just going to do the running stitch. All along the bottom edge. I just watched a video a couple days ago where a lady, A young lady made her wedding dress out of only fabrics and old clothes and stuff that she found at a thrift shop. And this young lady did such a beautiful job, and the dress she ended up with was something that you couldn't even put a price on. Oh my gosh. And she didn't have a pattern. She just went, she'd find something like she might find something like a curtain with this kind of an edge or something. And she liked the edge, so she said, oh, I'm going to incorporate that some way into my dress. And she would. And oh my word, this girl come up with such a beautiful, I should find that. I don't think I watched it to the very end. I have to check in my history, see if I watched it completely. I have a habit of turning on a video and then I'm walking back and forth out of my room here because I can't sit still for very long. Ants in my pants or something. And so, yeah, I think I want to watch it again because I just love watching people who make fabric art or anything, and this dress was a work of art, but any fabric art is just amazing to me. I don't watch, like, there is a lot of videos of people making, like, make a dress with a pattern, and you know, and that's all well and good and wonderful, but it doesn't amaze me as much as now seamstress would watch that kind of stuff, because then you learn all kinds of tips and tricks to do everything exactly right. Well, in my world, I learned to do things exactly wrong and it turns into something right. So I love watching scrapping, just scrapping stuff. Show me some scraps and I'll tell you what to do with them. Okay, now this really come up fluffy. This is fluffy. Now when we look at this, I can see that I probably had this end cut a little wider than this end. So, but I love the edging on that. So pretty. So now if I were to put this on here, and then this on, oh my gosh, put this here, oh my gosh, I like that right there already. But you could also layer a little bit of white there. You could, now if you were to use all vintage colors, what I call vintage colors, you know, like ecru and that kind of thing on a flower like this with lace and whatnot. Oh my gosh, how pretty that would be. I want to take down my button tray here. There's stuff piled on top of my button tray. Let's see. I want to find a button. I want to find a button that I think would finish. Finish this off. Look at this. Here is some buttons that I've fabric covered, but there's nothing in here that I think would actually work. Boy, if I had, well, no, let me see. Gosh, I just love buttons. I don't have enough. I've only got 4 million. Ooh. I've only got 4 million and I need 5 million. Okay, that one is going to have to work because I love it. So let me put these back up on the shelf, and I'm going to need to get another piece of, okay, now I'm going to want to use, oh, stretch. Let me get another piece here, because now I want to make sure I have something in the green family here. Mr. and Mrs. Green. Now, do I want that white piece in there or not? Maybe not. Now, see, when you have a big flower like this, now this kind of a big flower would be so awesome on a front of a journal, like at the, corner, like the corner of a journal cover. That would be so pretty. And that would be pretty. Yes, it would. Okay, now, what did I do with my little needle threader? Right, it's right here somewhere. There it is. Okay, now, if I can just, I need to hurry it up because I want to show you another one that I learned too. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. How do I manage to get things all goofy? Okay, here we go. Now I ungoofied it. Okay, so I'm going to use that just like that. Put my needle through there and get that through there, and then put this through here and get that kind of centered in there. And then my yellow button, and put the little yellow button and get that pulled. And then once you pull that button in there, and I use this heavy thread because I don't want it breaking in the middle of things. And when I use the heavy thread, when I put something together like this, and this is like crochet cotton, like a lightweight. It says number 8. So I guess the number 8 has something to do with the weight of it. But that if you use just thread, then you got to go through the button a few times to make sure it's secure. But if you use this kind of thing, then you go one time and it is going to hold. I got thread in there. Like this here. Is that pretty or what? That is pretty, just this way. And now if this goes on the, if you have this down on the corner of a book, like if you're starting a little journal, this is not a journal, but I mean just putting this in the corner, in the bottom corner, and then you put your information up here of, say, memories or something. This is beautiful. I love this right here. Now I can go in here with ribbon and I can tuck a little bow down underneath there. Where's all my bows? I think they're too far for me to reach. My arm won't stretch. Where's all my bows? I don't see them. I don't see them. Okay, but anyway, I'll find them later. Okay, but see, I can put a little bow in there, and I can still dress this up. That's pretty, but I want to show you now, just to give you another little idea. Let me see, I've got these little squares. Thank you. Thank you who sent me these squares. Okay, now I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to fold this in half again, and I'm going to fold this in half again. Okay, so now I have sort of like a triangle. And I'm going to cut this. I like cutting with the pinking shears. And I'm going to kind of round it. You know how we used to do, we'd make snowflakes out of paper. There, so I kind of rounded that. And wait a minute. This one, I didn't get that rounding. I didn't get petals on there like I should, like I wanted it to. Okay, so I need to, instead of, because I don't want it just round. I want it like petals. So let me go farther down. There we go. Now I might have cut too much off. Okay, that made 4. How did I do it before that I had more than that? Wait a minute. Now that one has 4. Let me try something. Let me try another piece here. Let me see if I got to remember now how to fold it where I can get more than 4 petals, and I think I will go 1, 2. I wonder if I go like this way. I got to remember back to my snowflake days. Okay, I'm going to go this way and this way. Now I wonder what I'll come up with. I got 4 corners right there. But then that's going to cut off a lot of... Let me just cut with these. No, okay, I'm going to go like this. I'll go like this so it kind of almost looks like a heart. And see how many petals that ends up with. So see it kind of, I just made that kind of look like a heart. Let's see how many petals I get with that. Ooh, yeah. Oh, now I have petals. So I had folded in quarters, in half, and then in quarters, and then in thirds. And then I took the scissor and cut it so it almost looks like a heart. Okay, then the next thing I want to do, see, now I've got that flat piece right there. It's just all flat. So now what I want to do is I want to fold. Now it doesn't really matter how you fold it, and so, but I'm going to cut this tip off. Just cut it off, see? So that's what I cut off, is that little piece there. And so then I have the whole thing, I have it like this. Now I'm going to take my thread. I'm going to take my thread, Fred. I'm going to take my thread. I'm going to take my thread, Fred. And tie a knot in the end. Okay. And now I'm going to do the running stitch inside this circle. Now this is so simple, yet when I was showed the other day by my friend, she, Carmen, gosh, I love that lady. She showed me something like this. I don't know if I got all the instructions correctly, but I took what I figured and I just went with it. That's what she told me to do anyway. And so, and since I talked to her yesterday, I have been just busy trying to get, just making more flowers. Because these flowers now, like I like making my bags lately. I've been making my tote bags and stuff and just making them just beautiful, just very boho-ish and with color. I mean, when I talk about boho, it's, to me, it's color. And so I'm not real sure about boho style so much, but when I talk about boho, I'm more talking about the colors. And I just love color. I just love color and bright colors. Gosh, I love all colors. And so, like I said, you know, you could make something like this and go in it with just all the vintage look and make it shabby chic looking. And I love that. I love that, but I love also color. I just love color. And I think color makes you happy, you know. I went to go get blood work the other day, and the whole, where I go to get my Oh, I pulled that too tight too soon. Oh, that's okay. Where I go, they had the whole thing, the whole building, and all the little rooms. Every room was all decorated, kind of how I call Hawaii style. You know, with the hula girls and the, what else would you call that? Like another, you know, the just color was everywhere. Just and I walked and I told him, I says, you all make me happy. She goes, well, thank you. I said, this color. I said, just, I love your decorating because they just have just so much color everywhere. Now, see, look at that flower. Look at that flower. And that was, I took a 4x4 square and I folded it in half. But in this one, I only folded this way, and then cut it. But this one as well, if you're to cut the middle out of this one, okay, and it's just got 4 petals. I just like more than 4 petals. I don't know why. You know what, though? I just thought of something. A pansy. If you were going to make a pansy, you could come up with this, like a 4 petal, like that, and then add another 1 petal. Well, wait a minute. Let me just do this. Sometimes just thoughts when you're doing something, when you're doing something and you don't have an exact instruction or direction, then you just, that's when you get real creative, and you just, things just start popping in your head. If you're doing something exactly by a pattern, it's like, for me anyway, if I'm following a pattern, I get discouraged easily because things aren't fitting where they're supposed to fit, and like it says in the directions. And so I can't do that very well. But if you're doing something that you are being more creative in your own style, then as you're going along, this looks like a 4-leaf clover. Okay, I just taught you how to make a 4-leaf clover. Wait a minute, I get that thread through there. Yeah, this is a tutorial on how to make a 4-leaf clover. Okay, but anyway, that would make a beautiful 4-leaf clover. Okay, see? Now, if that was all green, it could be 4-leaf clover. Well, all 4-leaf clovers don't have to be green, though. See? There you go. It's 4-leaf clover. And so that worked out pretty. That worked out really pretty. But then, if you had, you could make, oh, why am I tying that so many times? So now there you go. That just gathered that up in the middle by putting that hole in the middle, and it gathered, and it put that little gathering and the little ruffly look. And see, then you can layer anything. You can just start layering. But now what I was thinking, that if you had a little tiny piece, let's see. Then if you had, just make 1 petal. So like a teardrop looking sort of a something. Just exactly like that. And put that right down here. Well, it probably did, that probably doesn't look like a, that probably doesn't look like a pansy, but looks like a flower with a yellow tongue. Well, so anyway, that, yeah, that's a fail right there. But one, you just get going. Now see, oh, here what I was saying, this one here, I didn't pull this one real close tight. And so, like, I could take this one and lay it on this one. What I'm saying about not, see, then you got like a hole there. And then you can take another piece up top there. And because this white one isn't real tight, then you have, then when we, let's get a button. Wonder if one of these buttons will. I like my little fabric covered buttons. Those are fun. I'm gonna order me some more of these. And because what I did when I got these, I just covered them all. And what I should have left some uncovered so that, oh wait, maybe this one's better. I should have left some uncovered. No, that one's fine. So that I could cover them with whatever. Oh, that's what I made with my painted paper, painted cloth. Okay, so see now, I'm gonna, well, I need to get that little bit of thread off of there. But boy, you can just layer these and layer these and layer these, and you can do, you know, just contrasting colors, or you can do them all the same color. But see now when you go in here, see, I can glue these two petals together right here. I didn't do that yet. Wait a minute. I think I'm going to tie a little knot in there in my thread. Okay. Okay, see now this one with the hole, I just put that through the hole. And get that centered in there where I want it. Boy, even this one, that would go pretty too, but I'm gonna put this one. Okay, and then put that needle through here. And see then, especially if you have a button like this that's got a shank on it, you put that through there, and then put that through the shank, and by the time you put that thread on through there and pull it all together, then it dips in. If, how do I explain? Because this white piece is got that hole in the center, the space, it this button will pull tighter into the fabric. Oh my gosh, I love these flowers. I love these flowers. Okay, so then I'm just going to tie that tight on the back and pull that nice and tight so that button really dips down into the center of the flower. These buttons, well, when I get some more, I don't have any more right now, but when I'm going to get some more because I love them and I use them, and then I'll show you how to cover them, so you can see what a fun item this is to have, is these buttons, if you haven't done them. Now, you all probably have done them all. I'm always the last one to the party. But look at how pretty that is. And so it's got 3 layers and then the button. And so these 2 pieces, I cut off the same. Off the same piece of fabric. Like you saw how I did this one. And so this was a 4 by about 11 inch. But if I were to cut this a little shorter, it would have went around all the way. But I think these are 2 absolutely beautiful flowers. And like I say, I've got like this here, red one. Look at that red one with the little white hearts. And then here's another one that's a little bit smaller. So if I were to take, oh, like this one even maybe in between and put that together like this, then that one's pretty. That one's real pretty. I like that one too. I like that. Maybe I'll go ahead and put that. So what I've been doing though really is just playing with pieces of fabric and making flowers. And if you want to get a whole bunch and then start like these 2. See, now these 2 here, it's got those lavender butterflies. And if I I'm kind of liking this shape here, that I didn't make it big enough. and so it kind of leaves that open, and I kind of do like that, because now, see, you can see these strings hanging from here, and if you had a ribbon hanging from there, a bow and a ribbon, that would be pretty. Okay, now I want to see if I can find a, oh, here's an idea. Oh, I wonder if this would even show up, though, if I put a bead. I'm going to put this bead in there. I got a red bead right here. Yep, I'm going to use that bead and see how that looks. We can't decide before we do it what it's going to look like, because we don't know. So I'm going to take, I have the 3 pieces, and I like to put my needle through one and then the next one. Let me cut those 2 little strings off of there. And, oh, that's the top. And then this one, right next to the hole, right next to the center. And then this one, right next to the center. Okay. And then I'll get that bead and put that bead in there. And then pull that in there and pull that tight. Now turn it over and make sure we got that pulled tight again. Take that needle off. And there we go. And what I did was I come up through one side, because you'll have one side right, you have a hole in the center, you know, where you drew everything together. And so when you're coming up with your needle, you come up one side of the hole, and then when you go back down, go down the other side of the hole, so that the needle isn't right in the hole. Okay, I'm gonna use a couple of threads here that I used for tying. Let me get them off of there. So look at this. Look at these flowers. Now there's the red, and see, this has kind of got some pink in it. This is gorgeous. Look at this. Look at if I was to put the green behind it. I could add that green behind it, and look at how beautiful. And I can still do that. I can run that thread through the green, go back through the needle, through the bead, and go back down. Now, probably if I'd have put a white bead on there, it would have showed up better. But it's still, you can see what it'll do. But isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful? And I do like it with that green behind it. Something about the green behind it really makes something go poppin'. Pop, pop, pop. Snap, crackle, pop. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's pretty. So, and now these two, well, I like wearing flowers in my hair, and just put a clip on something and put it in my hair. I like that. Now, some people might not like that, but if you like, or you have little girls or little granddaughters or something, you can make these. Just stitch a hair clip to the back and put them in, use them in at the top of your ponytail or something. How beautiful. Look at this one. Now those are the 3 that we just come up with today, and I think they're just gorgeous. And then I have parts here, and I have so much fabric, so many fabrics of different colors. I love how these ones turned out. I love all the little colors. And so you can just make this simple as this, and maybe put a center button, like just maybe one little button in the center, and pull that down tightly in the center. And this one's just made with one strip of fabric that is probably about 1 inch wide and about 8 inches long. And I cut it with a pinking shears, and then just run running stitch along one side. That one's even smaller. So, and again, just one strip. See there, you could layer it and make it even more fluffy. And put that button on there. And that's beautiful. That's what I wanted to show you this morning. I'm going to be making some more of these flowers today. I'm going to I just think they're just beautiful. I just love them. I love how this one turned out. And I think by using the lacy, frilly stuff, and I have that whole piece on there, this one I'm going to doll this one up some. It's going to get some maybe yellow ribbon because I put a yellow button. I'm not sure what I'll do with that. But you know, you can buy those little things in the wedding section that is just like little stems with a bead on the end, you know, that they use in wedding decorations. If you have some of them and you just stuff those in there, just glue them in there with some hot glue maybe, and so then they just kind of poke out a little bit. Oh, how beautiful. And just with the raw edges like this, especially cut with a Pinkerton shears, I think that's just beautiful. So I hope you all will try making flowers, because flowers are beautiful. Flowers make you happy, and we need to be happy. And anybody in Florida that's worried about this storm, whatever happens, happens. Just, if you go outside, bring your umbrella. It's not supposed to be bad, so I'm hoping it's not bad. Now I'm going to finish this up, and then I'm going to check again on the Weather Channel. But first I'm going to read out of my book. You are stronger than you know. Oh, good. We are stronger than you know, so we don't have to worry about yeah, we don't have to worry about the storm, because we're stronger than we know. That's why. Keep faith in your heart. Oh, wait a minute. I just read this. Well, you know what? I opened it up again to the same. Sometimes I read the same one from one day to the next. And I guess for some reason, because I just opened my book, for some reason we're supposed to hear the same one day to the next. Keep faith in your heart. With faith, you can move a mountain, reach a star, and make it through the longest night. With faith, you can trust that everything has a reason and every life has a purpose. You can feel content with what you have and stay secure within yourself. With faith, you can look back on your most trying time and see it for the blessing it was, an experience that led you where you were meant to go and helped shape the person you were created to be. With faith, you can look for the bright side of any situation and always find it. And sometimes that seems impossible, ladies and gentlemen, but it's not impossible. With faith, you can look for the bright side of any situation and always find it. And this was written by Paula Finn in this book, You Are Stronger Than You Know. Okay, so I ask God to watch over each and every one of you, every step you take, every move you make, and make some flowers. They can go in your slow stitching books, your slow stitching pillow books. These are good for that, because you really want fluff in those books to make them into a pillow. And so that's what I have for you today. So far, who knows? Maybe later on I'll have another video on something. But yeah, God bless each and every one of you.